So Jim Breuer, the comedian, he was on SNL at one point. I actually know him more through the movie Half-Baked. It's a Dave Chappelle classic. Check that movie out if you haven't. It makes me smile every time it's on. I watched it so much. He recently took a stand by saying, I'm not going to perform at any venues where the comedy club basically mandates that you show your vaccination proof when you walk in. He's against these vaccine mandates for these businesses. So he took a stand. He did a video saying he's not going to perform in any of these venues, and he became a bit of a far-right hero after this video. And then he went on Tucker, and this was a shaky interview to say the least. Let's take a look at what he says.
But the principle remains, if you can force people to get the vaccine, what can't you do? That's a question that Jim Breuer appears to be thinking about. He's a comedian. He just announced he's not performing at any venue that requires patrons to be vaccinated. He joins us tonight to explain why. Jim Breuer, thanks so much for coming on. Interesting that you did this. It caught our attention. Why? Tell us, I'll be quiet as you explain why you did this.
Well, honestly, I got a lot of feedback from a couple venues that I was playing, and my fans were really upset. They said, you know, I'm not comfortable with getting a COVID shot, and now they're saying I can't come see you perform unless I do that. And I looked into it, and that's the last thing you should be doing is going, hey, you want to come see the, like feeding the seal, the fish. Hey, you wanna come see a concert? You wanna here catch the fit? Why would you do that? Why would you? I don't want any of my fans forced to come laugh, and they got to get a shot in them. And honestly, Tucker, I got to be honest with you. What really started my video was there's a new narrative, and the new narrative is the unvaccinated are the beast. Kill the beast. This program goes on forever. Kill the beast. The beast is the unvaccinated. Kill them. And when our leader put that out there and pointed the finger like we're the demons, I'm not vaccinated. I had COVID. You're not going to tell me about my body. I know my body. I know my morals. I know my faith. You don't come telling me and threaten me and everyone else as if we're the demons. I have 2 close friends right now, fully vaccinated, and they got COVID. Yeah. And they're both sick. So this is not about safety, because if it was, you'd, just like you said and I said in my video, eat more fruit, take care of your body. Go to the gym. I've been saying that forever. You would have thought I called people savages for doing that.
I'm always amazed at people who are celebrities or are known in one way or another who start going hard on this anti-vaccine stuff, because they have to know deep down, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about. You have no idea. The idea that just eat fruit. Eat fruit and take care of your body and go to the gym. Yes, does it make it more likely that if you're in shape, you have a better chance of beating COVID if you get it? Sure. If you're younger, you have a better chance of beating COVID if you get it versus if you're older. But also, in some instances, that's not even true, because there's been some research talking about different blood types and how different blood types, some react much better to COVID than others. It's just a poor roll of the genetic dice where it's like, oh shit, I have the kind of blood type where COVID, impacts me more than others. There's speculation that not only is there age differences, there's also racial differences. There might be some racial differences. There might be other biological factors that we don't know of that can lead to a worse COVID case. So for him to just be like, I mean, it's so glib. To eat fruit. Just eat some fruit. Take care of your body. Go to the gym. That's to act like that's the end-all, be-all. To act like that's even more important than getting vaccinated. I mean, that's just, honestly, pathetic. And he has to know that that's unscientific. And if he doesn't know that that's unscientific, then of course I'm going to question his intelligence. He brings up, you want to talk about anecdotal. Well, I have 2 friends who were fully vaccinated and they got COVID and they're both sick. Really? Well, did you know that over 95% of the people who are hospitalized and are dying from COVID are unvaccinated? I see your shitty anecdote, and I raise you the objective data, the empirical data on the entire macro situation. You could give me your micro situations all day long. I don't care. Also, there's a selection bias there because this is the kind of guy who's more likely to focus on only the parts that he wants to hear. And so when he hears, oh, you were vaccinated, you got COVID, that'll stick with him. But when I tell him that, hey, I was exposed to COVID, but I was vaccinated, I should have gotten it, but I didn't because I was vaccinated, well, that'll water off a duck's ass. You won't even pay attention to that. Told you this on Crystal Kyle and Friends. Crystal did a show with Sagar when he was mildly symptomatic, sitting 4 feet away from him for hours. She didn't get COVID. And Delta is way more transmissible than the original COVID variant. She should have gotten COVID. She didn't. Why? Probably because she's vaccinated. I'm with Crystal all the time. She should have given it to me because she should have gotten it from Sagar. I should have gotten it. Didn't get it. Why? Probably because I'm vaccinated. Now, listen, nothing hinges on those anecdotes. Why? Because they're anecdotes. I don't care about anecdotes. You shouldn't care about anecdotes. What you should care about is the data. A data is when you take all of the anecdotes and you put them together to look at a macro picture. What is the macro picture? I just told you, over 95% of the people who are hospitalized or dying from COVID are unvaccinated. That is staggering. So take your, you should eat some fruit nonsense and shove it right up your ass. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Eat some fruit. Work out. Take care of your body. It's unbelievable. The misinformation and the silliness that's out there now from the unvaccinated camp. Now, by the way, I would respect it more if people were honest. So if he was like, listen, I'm against the mandates because I'm against the mandates. I think it does take away too much freedom and liberty from people. So I'm against the mandates, but all the evidence shows the vaccine is good and it helps. That would be one thing. I probably wouldn't be doing this segment if he said that, but he can't help himself. Instead of just saying, the mandates I'm so on, but the vaccine helps. What does he do? I'm against the mandates, and also maybe the vaccine doesn't work that well. Okay, well now you got me fucking pissed off. And you got me pissed off because you're saying shit that's wrong. You're saying shit that's dead wrong. It's factually wrong. It's provably wrong. It's demonstrably wrong. And if you looked at the evidence in a serious way, you would know that. So, the other point to bring up, which is really important, is so he's mad at the businesses that are saying people who attend need to be vaccinated. The business made that choice. What choice did Joe Biden make? Joe Biden said for businesses that have 100 or more employees, you either need to get vaccinated or get tested. So he's not even saying you have to get vaccinated. He gave people the out of testing. But that's for employees of businesses with 100 people or more. A lot of these comedy clubs are smaller than that. Even if they weren't, this is people who are coming to the comedy club. They're not the employees. They're the patrons of the business. And any comedy club that says, we want you to have a vaccine, the small business is making that decision on their own. Now, usually, people who lean right, what do they say? You got to leave it up to the businesses to make their own decisions. Just get the government out, let the businesses make their own decisions. Well, here you go. Here are the businesses making their own decisions. And all of a sudden, what? You flip on the principle, and now you want a federal mandate against letting small businesses make their own COVID policies for themselves? It's totally incoherent. They're flipping on that right-wing principle of let the small businesses decide for themselves. They are deciding for themselves. And by the way, the real reason why they're doing it, I mean, they might care a little bit about people's health and safety, but I doubt it. It's more about they don't want any lawsuits. If you are a comedy club and people come in and 100% of the people in the room get COVID, they can get a lawsuit. Hey, you didn't have adequate safety measures in place. They don't want that. They don't want to deal with that. So the businesses are just protecting their ass. But of course, he doesn't, the way he's thinking about it, that right over his head. He hasn't thought about it in any sort of nuanced way. Then he brings up, and this is just lies, the new narrative is that the unvaxxed are the beast. Kill the beast. Who is vaccinated, who wants more people to get vaccinated, has said, you are the beast, and we should kill the beast. If anything, it's quite the opposite. We don't want you to die, which is why we want you to get vaccinated. I mean, again, you could simply make the case for the liberty and freedom reason, I don't think there should be any vaccine mandates anywhere at all. You want to make that case? Make that case. But don't strawman people who are saying you should probably get vaccinated because it's going to save your life. Because that's what they're saying. They're saying, get vaccinated, it will help you. It will save your life. Why can't you be honest about that? Why can't you just say, look, I know you're trying to help me, but I don't agree with you. Or I know you're trying to help me, but still, it shouldn't be a mandate from the federal government or the businesses themselves. He can't. It's so hyperbolic. It's so over the top. It's so, like, it's all emotional. You know what I mean? Like, Jim Brewer is just emotional about this. None of it is actually sober and reasoned. Then he says, you're not going to tell me about my body. What does that mean, though? You're not going to tell me about my body. Yeah, dude, you don't have to get the vaccine. He is his own business person. He's a comedian. He's a sole proprietor under the tax system. You don't have to get the vaccine if you don't want to get the vaccine. You could, even if you were in a business with 100 or more employees and you're an employee, you could get the test if you want to get the test. I think most businesses, with a little bit of variation, but most of them will probably say either show your vaccine card or show a negative test. So you're acting like, this is the worst thing in the world. It's just basic public safety measures, dude. It's just basic public safety measures. And, he's against even that. He's against even that. He also brings up my morals and my faith. Oh, your faith. Oh, does your faith, does your faith sort of lead to your beliefs on this? Does your faith inform your beliefs on this? Maybe it does. Maybe you're fully embracing the irrational as you pretend like I'm fully rational, Mr. Vaccine is bad and I'm against the vaccine mandates. And of course, Tucker sits there and nods along. By the way, Fox News has way more strict vaccine rules than the Biden administration. 90% of the people at Fox are vaccinated. And for the ones who aren't, they do daily testing. Daily testing. There's no doubt Tucker's vaccinated. So he sits there and nods along. Absolutely. When this idiot's out there saying, the mandates from the small businesses are wrong, and also maybe the vaccine doesn't work. He said, oh, yeah. He's just feeding his audience whatever they want to hear, not telling them the truth. You're a hack. You're a hack. Sometimes I come out here and I have an opinion that you guys don't like, but I tell you it anyway, because I'm always going to tell you what I think. That's my commitment to you. Even if you don't want to hear it on certain things, hey, sorry, this is what I believe. You're going to hear what I believe. I have no doubt Tucker knows that vaccine is effective. And I have no doubt that he's vaccinated. Yet he's out there doing this dumb segment. Jim Brewer, what a mess. Tim Dillon went on Twitter after this and was sort of going after Jim Brewer in the sense that he was saying, don't pretend like this is some moral stand. This isn't some moral stand. What are you going to do? You're going to write off over 50% of the comedy clubs around the country? Because I guess probably over 50% of them have it. You're being silly. He's being silly. He thinks like he's some hero. Again, the businesses are deciding on their own. You don't like it? All right, we'll talk to the small business and try to talk them out of it. It's probably not going to work because they're just trying to protect themselves from lawsuits. But my guess is, Jim, they're really giving you an option. The people who are coming an option. Vaccinate or negative test. So, but then of course he probably has a problem with that too. Because he just doesn't care about any sort of basic safety measures and he looks like he's lost his mind.